In stocking up today, Dave Bartosiak of Zacks.com is here to take a look at the election trade as well. Happy to have you here.
Happy to be here, of course.
So we are on Monday here. Tomorrow's the election. Are you putting on a trade today?
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty here. Now, the market had pretty much priced in a Hillary win as a foregone conclusion. And since then, we've had a little bit of repricing of risk ahead of the election. So I think that we're still going to see some volatility, obviously, through Tuesday, through the election. And then Wednesday is when things, I think, will calm down a little bit. But I don't expect, even if Hillary does get elected, I don't expect Wednesday to be one of those straight up days because it's just too obvious, right? So I think maybe we see a little bit more volatility just a couple of days out there. And if you look at Friday's jobs report, it wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't terrible, right? A little bit less than expected, but the market really wasn't too upset by it. So I think what I'm looking for is going a little further past the election, and that's where I think the market can go ahead and reassess its risk.
So you really want to do a wait and see, it sounds like here.
A little bit of a wait and see. There's a couple of levels I've been looking for. Namely, if you look at the Russell, I was looking at that 1140 level as sort of a line in the sand, because that is the 38.2% retracement from the February lows to the highs of 1263. So I'm thinking that level will be supported a little bit. So if we come down and flirt with there, I might have to peck a little bit.
There are people who would like to see a small cap rally via the Russell. Do you think that's possible here?
I certainly think it is. When you look at kind of the broad market, we've had sell-offs not only in the large caps. We've also had the Nasdaq has gotten beat up, but the Nasdaq is actually holding up a little bit better than the rest of the market. So I think the Russell is kind of in that Nasdaq camp with the higher beta play that should benefit if the market rallies here in the short term.
As an individual stock play, you're taking a look at Nvidia earnings coming up this week. So what's your strategy?
So I've been looking at Nvidia a lot over the last several quarters. I made a few trades on them. They've worked out pretty well because basically what was happening is people didn't realize the scope of Nvidia's business. They thought they just made graphics cards so that computer nerds can go ahead and play games on their PCs. Guilty. But it's much more than that. Okay, so Nvidia started to get into the autonomous car business, and their graphics cards basically power the VR revolution that's taking place right now. So that hasn't really become mainstream. I think you're going to see that in Q1 of 2017 with the Oculus coming from Facebook and some other things. So anyway, the moral of the story is I think that Nvidia shares right now, maybe a lot of that is baked in. The earnings estimate revisions as of late really haven't come in too bullish for them, so I think everything is sort of priced in, and I'm looking to sell into a little bit of the optimism. So with the stock in the high 60s, I'm looking to sell 75 calls out of the money a little bit, and I think I'll be able to put a few bucks in my pocket.
So you're hoping that Nvidia stays below $75?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty firm cap there on shares of Nvidia, all the way up to 75, given that the stock's in the high 60s. And what's going to be the catalyst that's going to just rocket this thing up? You got to have some short interest. You got to have somebody on the other side of the equation there, and I don't think it's there for Nvidia right now, and I don't think that they're going to have a huge growth story heading into this quarter for a few reasons, but 75 seems like a pretty decent cap, and it still gives it room to run. So I just want to clarify, I do love Nvidia as a company. I think it's going to be good over the long run, but for a short trade here, I think I can make a couple bucks on this.
Well, thank you for your trader talk today.
Well, thanks for having me.